Well, good afternoon, Williston, and welcome to Stop the Presses. We have a very special guest today, Senator Heidi Heitkamp, known to one and all in Williston and the oil patch in western North Dakota. She's stopping by for an editorial board this morning, and she's going to visit all of western North Dakota, it sounds like, today. Well, Senator Heitkamp, thanks very much for doing this with us.
Well, thanks for having me. This is great.
All right, you just wrapped up a very big 2015, the oil export ban, getting that lifted. You were instrumental in that. Tell us a little bit about, some of the goals you were able to achieve in 2015.
Well, it really started out with a year of oil export ban. And I told everyone, there's absolutely no logic behind this. This is an industry that's entitled to its global market. We can't be isolated this way and expect that we're going to continue to invest in American production. And so my big thing was making sure that this didn't get what I call keystone, which means everybody got so emotional about it, no one could look at the logic behind it. And I guess I'm an optimist. I thought we could get it done, and we did get it done with a lot of help from the industry, but also I think a lot of work that my office did in encouraging Democrats to really understand this issue. And so, as I said when we did it, it's not a panacea for what's happening right now in the short term, but this is a long-term play that will greatly benefit American production of oil and certainly production in our state. And so, proud of that work. Also did a lot of, got the Export-Import Bank back in business, which was huge for me, and it was another one of those issues that who could figure. Repealed No Child Left Behind and replaced it with something that gives control of the local school boards back. We're able to pass, I think, a very effective trafficking bill. We have more work to do in that lane. And then just 179, which was critical to farmers in terms of a tax provision that's extraordinarily beneficial in terms of making investment, made that permanent, made production tax credits, gave them long-term. No, it really is a good list, isn't it? Yeah, I could go on and on and on. And then we also were able to get our Commission on the Status of Native American Children passed in the Senate, and now we're working to get it passed in the House.
And you started 2016 by going over with a number of other senators to Saudi Arabia. What was that trip all about? Was that all about oil, or was?
No, it was really about taking a look. We went to the IAEA, which is the international agency responsible for monitoring activity in Iran. We wanted to talk to them and to encourage them to be very aggressive as it relates to implementation and implementation goals. We wanted to meet with people in the region, and our people in the region, talking about the funding of ISIS or ISIL or Daesh, whatever you want to call it. But we're very concerned about where the money is. I personally believe the best way to stabilize and to stop the nonsense is and stop this horrible organization from growing is to cut off their financial head. We then spent time in Israel, had a chance to visit with Netanyahu about what his priorities are. We went and saw some of the tunnels, technology coming out of Gaza, what we're doing to help improve the short-range missile protection from Gaza. Spent time, then we went over to Saudi and spent time in Saudi Arabia. Probably the most interesting meeting was the meeting with the women who have just been elected to their parliament equivalent. They were very interested in what I knew about oil prices, by the way, and then just talking about the economic conditions in Saudi and what we think Saudi Arabia's reaction will be. It came at a time when the Iranian-Saudi relationship was blowing up over the beheadings. And so that you could see the tension there, and then had two very high-profile meetings in Turkey with both Erdogan, who is the president, and with their prime minister.
Okay. And so, I mean, obviously, even with the export ban lifted, oil prices aren't going to come back overnight. What advice would you give for people in the oil patch to kind of ride this out? Is there any sort of...
Well, I mean, I think if they see opportunities, if they see federal policies that could change, that could be helpful, make sure that you're communicating those. But I think this is a long-term play, and what I would say is, don't diminish your investment to the point where it takes so long to start it back up. Just because times are tough doesn't mean you shouldn't think about what's the next big thing. And so I would say, don't give up on North Dakota, stay here, keep working with our state, and let's build that, let's not abandon the infrastructure, because I believe this will come back.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I know you got to run, Heidi. Senator Heitkamp, very, very happy you could join us today.
Well,
and enjoy your time in
I'm bundled up and ready to go. So you know, it's great being back in North Dakota, and we have opened up an office out here. We see a lot of folks who are struggling. You know, none of this really discounts the work that we do for veterans, the work that we do for people who have Medicare problems. And so a lot of the great joy of being out here has been working with constituents in western North Dakota, when before they'd have to drive all the way to Minot or Bismarck to get a meeting with a Senate's office. So we're proud of the work we do in Dickinson. You know, the challenges in the agriculture sector continue to present themselves, and we're taking a look at what's happening, especially with cattle out here and cattle prices. And so there's always, you don't get long to rest on your laurels.
Yeah.
You know, you pass a major piece of legislation, you feel good about it for a day, and then it's back to work.
All right, well, I guess that'll about do it for this edition of Stop the Presses. And well, actually, even in my office, you outrank me. So why don't you go ahead and do it, Senator?
You stay classy, Williston.
Right on.